Doris, I'm here to share with you about my stock account and market updates today. Let's first take a look at my account. My account closed at $68,000. Today's PL is a gain of $219. SQQQ made a gain of 0.31% to 19.19 in the post-market. And the United Natural Gas made a loss of 6.15% during the market. Today, the market generally closed mixed. Dow Jones Industrial Average closed up 0.15%, Nasdaq Composite closed up 0.12%, and S&P 500 closed up 0.03%. It doesn't matter if the price goes up, India continues to buy the Russia crude oil. Since the outbreak of the Russian-Ukrainian conflict, Indian buyers have been major consumers of cheap Russian crude oil. While the discount of Urals to the global benchmark is shrinking today, the enthusiasm for Indian buyers has not cooled in the slightest, and they believe the Russian crude remains one of their most affordable options. India's consumption of Russian crude oil has risen sharply since last year. Russia has replaced Saudi Arabia and Iraq as India's main oil supplier. This is largely influenced by the price advantage of Russian oil and the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's effort to rein in energy inflation. It is not difficult to find that the price advantage for Russian oil is shrinking recently. Earlier this year, the spread between Russian crude and the Dubai benchmark crude was about $20 based on delivery prices. Today, the discount on Urals crude has narrowed to nearly $8. Pricing data from Argus Media shows that the price of Urals crude destined for India's west coast on August 4th exceeded $81 a barrel, compared with about $68 a month earlier. Even so, officials at India's 4 major refineries said they'll continue to buy Russia's flagship Urals blend, arguing that the homogeneous crude from the Middle East is still much more expensive. This latest development means that India may be buying more Urals crude than many expected. Samira Chakraborty, chief economist at Citigroup India, said it was thought that India's limited ability to refine Russian medium sour crude will put a natural ceiling on India's import of Russian crude oil, but now it has been clearly demonstrated that such a bottleneck does not exist. This means that India refinery will continue to import Russian oil as long as the price discounts offered by imported Russian oil exceed the higher logistics cost. Chakraborty said this trend is expected to continue. In fact, many people in the industry also widely expect that the situation will not change as long as the Russia-Ukraine conflict does not further escalate and lead to greater geopolitical variables. Indian refinery executives were largely unconcerned about the attack on Russian tanker in the Black Sea. Victor Katona, chief crude oil analyst at data intelligence firm Kepler, said the South Asian buyers have now been alerted to supply risk, and they have been largely insulated from higher freight and insurance costs because the structure of the oil trade between Russia and India means that these risks are usually borne by Russian crude sellers. India refinery also said even if oil crude breaches the $60 barrels price ceiling set by Western countries to curb Russian oil revenue last month, resulting in more onerous transaction procedures and a stricter scrutiny. It does not deter Indian refiners as long as they could book ships and settle payments. Vandana Hari, founder of Vanda Insight, says as long as Russian crude oil is discounted over similar crude on CIF basis, there will be demand in India. If oil crude is only valued just above $60 cap, it may not be a deal breaker for Indian refinery, as long as the middleman can promise Indian banks that the FOB price rate for the goods is below the cap if necessary. At the present, most direct factor driving Indian buyers to sweep goods is still price. According to official data, the average cost of Russian crude oil reaching the Indian coast, including freight, was $68.17 per barrel in June, the lowest level since the Russian-Ukrainian conflict. By comparison, The ones from Saudi Arabia was as high as $81.78. Saudi Arabia and Russia has previously extended their voluntary restrictions until September due to tight supplies, which has led to international benchmark Brent crude prices hovering near 9-month highs recently. This has left the global oil market in dire need of more oil-grade sulfur and sulfur medium acid crude oil at a time when Asia's spot market demand is also strong. Officials said the lucrative rewards for Indian refiners also offset the rising crude costs. According to industry data, over the refining margin in India have been more than tripled compared to early July. Cadona said, for India refiners, Russia crude is by far the cheapest option. It is expected that from October, India will further welcome a large amount of Russian energy. That's all I have for today. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and see you next episode.